So, Jesse brought to my attention that after yesterday, a lot of people are probably having issues with quads being sore, maybe lower back from all the front loading with the sandbag that people aren't quite used to, and some other smaller areas like neck, traps, shoulders, stuff like that. Nothing crazy out of the ordinary, but might be an important thing to put a little bit of attention into these areas just to get some blood flow healing. So we're just going to go over 4 big things that I'm going to do today, and if you've got 20 extra minutes while you're at the gym, it might not be a bad idea to throw this in with the workout if you're going to do what is programmed for today. So I've got just a short list here. Start out with about a mile on the rower. Doesn't need to be anything crazy pace. You should be able to hold a conversation with somebody the whole time you're doing this. So just cold muscles, they're locked up after yesterday if you haven't been moving around a whole lot today. Hop on the rower, just get everything loosened up a little bit. I find that if I'm doing all this type of smashing work on cold muscle tissue, it's not as enjoyable. So I like to warm up a little bit and then focus on these areas. So get the row done, and then go ahead and, depending on how much you're able to handle this, we've got a few different options, but starting out with a quad smash, you can either grab the end of the barbell, put one of the ends on your leg, and then just real slowly, don't put any pressure into it. You're just gonna roll it up and down, and it's gonna be tender through your quad, but you'll find some areas might be a little bit tighter than others, like right here towards the middle of my quad. I got some lockdown tissue, so I'm just gonna let it sit here, maybe roll it back and forth, put a little bit of pressure into it, but try and loosen up some of the knots that you might have in your muscles. If this is too aggressive for you, you can grab a slam ball. That's not going to be quite as much weight, and it can kind of mold to your leg a little bit more, but you can just roll this around, still putting weight on the tissue, getting blood in there, try and flush everything out, take some of that soreness away. So focus on the quads there, first thing. After that, there was some toes to bar, overhead pressing, pull-ups, so kind of pec muscle up into your front of your delt might be a little bit sore, so we're going to do a shoulder smash and floss. So again, with the end of the barbell, you're just going to go ahead, rest this right on your shoulder, and you can kind of pull this over onto your pec if your pec's sore, or let it rest on your shoulder. But I like to throw a leg over top of the barbell here just to add a little bit of pressure, keep it in place. You're gonna have your upper arm at about 90 degrees from your torso. I'm gonna take my opposite hand, put some pressure into this to kind of lock down my shoulder capsule, and then the flossing comes in where I'm just trying to keep my arm at that 90-degree angle, but I'm rotating it back and forth, kind of grinding away at these tissues, opening up my shoulder capsule, getting loose through this whole area so that I'm able to kind of return some of that rotation ability in my shoulders. So shoulder smash with the barbell, and then the flossing. After that, lower back. With that sandbag, hold it out front like we had to yesterday, dropping into the bottom of that squat. You might have been getting pulled forward a little bit. So if you got something a little bit larger, like a softball, I've got this ball that I got online, or you can probably find it at any sports store, but it's got a little bit of give to it, but it's not quite as aggressive as a lacrosse ball. So the area I'm focusing on, get out of here, the spinal erectors on each side. You're just going to do one side at a time, and I'm going to peel this ball across the tissue, okay? So you're not going up and down along with the muscle, you're peeling it across, trying to kind of flatten out that muscle because it will build a peak to it, get real tight. So we're just gonna try and relieve some of the tension in that area. So typically, I would like to put my feet up on a box, but if you're just flat on the floor, this can work just as well. But one side at a time, I'm gonna start right next to my spine, and then I'm just gonna rotate. Try not to tense up your spine or any of your muscles when you're doing this stuff, but peeling from side to side. Once I get one area flushed out, you can hit some tight spots in here, spend a little bit of time, but then you're just gonna move that ball up your spine. And again, rotating from the center outward, trying to relieve some of that pressure that can be built up in your spine. And the last one, with the sandbag run. Probably put some people in a little bit of a funky position, trying to run with that sandbag, a lot of impact. So tension through the neck, traps might be an issue today. So my favorite thing for loosening up your traps and your neck, grabbing a barbell, setting it up there, make sure you get it centered correctly, but just rolling it right up your neck. You can kind of tilt your head away and then just find different tight areas for your traps, your neck. Take your hand, rotate your arm, try and figure out where those knots might be, and just really trying to grind into that tissue, loosen up the neck, get rid of those knots that are really got your neck tacked down, and just loosen up all these different muscle groups that you might be having issues with after yesterday. So, shouldn't take more than about 20 minutes. Set a clock if you want to, but spend anywhere between 4 and 5 minutes on each of these, and that should hopefully relieve a little bit of pressure that you might be having.